All right. We are live. Welcome back to another Wine Wednesday. I'm your host, Jana Kreilein, certified wine geek and co-founder of dVIN Labs. And tonight we're going to be talking about the intersection of macro prophecy and digital alchemy. Crazy. And we've got two incredible guests. Look, Dave, I never introduced you like this.
One incredible guest and Dave.
So we have got Raoul Pal, co-founder and CEO of Real Vision and founding partner of GMI, the architect of the Everything Code. Raoul, it's an honor to have you. And of course, the technologist turning theses into tangible reality. We got David Garrett joining us again for Wine Wednesday. We haven't seen enough of you lately, Dave. So welcome, Raoul.
Yeah, that's right.
And you guys are you're both drinking a glass of wine, I see. What have we got?
We've got here a Chablis Grand Cru, which is very nice because it is mid-afternoon here. So
fair.
And Dave,
and I'm drinking a barrel sample of Fulana from the Priorat. This is going to be amazing.
This is how Dave, it's like instant credibility. It's like I'm drinking a barrel sample. We talked about shiners last week. Anyone who's drinking a barrel sample or a shiner, you just know that they've got connection.
Shiner.
Oh, it's a barrel sample. It's like hasn't been released. You get it straight from the winery. It means you've got connections.
It's a bottle without a label, and they usually just write what it is on it.
I've seen them when you're hanging around with people in Burgundy. Everyone's passing around these untaxed bottles of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
You got it. So, and I'm drinking.
Look at you. Come on. Pander. It's a pander.
Look, I can't last week on Wrecked Vision, Raoul and Mondo got into dVIN and this smart champagne that we're going to talk about today. And I gotta, this is for you, Mondo. I gotta tell you, my whole fridge is full of this. And that's why I'm sacrificing my glass of wine tonight. Shout out to Mondo and OSF. I am a Wrecked fan. Okay. So you will hear from us.
Does it taste any good? Does it taste any good?
Tastes like the moon, Raoul. What are you talking about?
Perfect answer.
It's really good. It's really good. So now I'm a sales rep for Wrecked. Here we go. Okay. So let's talk about the launch of the world's first smart wine, because I feel like this is like your.
Can I tell a story of how it came together?
There's a lot of these stories, Dave.
No. It's a good story. So like 3 months ago, one of our investors, strategic investor, RedBite Technologies or RedBite Solutions, was I got kind of a breathless call from their CEO who was like, "Hey, we just published a paper on smart products, and we've been watching what you're doing with Bacchus, and we think that you should do a smart wine. We would like to work with you to develop smart wine." So we spent a couple of months working with them on what that would look like, how it would work, how it would integrate with their tech, how it would integrate with RFID, how it would integrate with their kind of dPIN vision. And then sort of just as we were putting the finishing touches on kind of how we wanted to launch that, Raoul, I had a call with Raoul, and we were chatting, and I was like, "Hey, is 250K still your Bitcoin thesis?" He was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "What if we opened a bottle of smart wine?" Actually, that's not true. I said, "We're launching smart wine," and you were like, "Oh, I like that." And then you and I in about 20 minutes came up with the idea, and then we launched it, a week later?
Yeah, it was just, what struck me is the idea of having an AI built around a specific wine that tells you about the wine, and then the smart cork idea where you can tell when it's open, how it's open, the on-chain. The whole element kind of ties it together like the future of smart wine. And I just thought, this is a really smart idea. And then adding it to blockchain, because it's obviously on blockchain, and thinking, Dave's idea of, if Bitcoin gets to 250,000, why don't we do something to celebrate and let everybody open a wine? And then we realized actually there's this whole lovely way of showcasing everything that you guys have been working on together, including, there's So, there's giveaways within it, but also giveaways of Club dVIN memberships, which is the other part of the kind of family of what's being built here, which is just really cool. Love it.
And I really like the community component it's for me really super interesting because we've been watching a lot of what you do. I mean, we have a wine club and we do cool wine club stuff, but watching you build the Real Vision community, like we just get tons of ideas. And like the thing that you're launching now or the idea of what you're launching now, or at least what I know of what you're launching now, really got me thinking, like, how can you create digital communities around events or around, in this case, around convictions, right?
Or experiences.
Or around experiences. And so, like, one of the things that, like, we can talk about the giveaways in a minute, but one of the things that I think is cool is, as everybody, most of the people that are listening to this know kind of how dVIN works. And like, if you when you open a bottle of wine, you also open it on your phone, and then that shows that the bottle has been opened, and you get a tasting token that is your authentic proof of experience. Well, that authentic proof of experience, when you open that 250K bottle, is what will get you into the community.
Dave, you got to call it the proof of pop. You can't.
Proof of pop. Like, I just think this idea of this small group of people that have the same conviction that when at some point in the future, we're all pretty convinced that Bitcoin's going to hit 250K. And when it does, we'll all open the same bottle of champagne, and then we'll have a token gated community where everyone that opened that bottle, and you have to open it and show that you opened it, then you get to celebrate together. We'll create a big token gated celebration where people can get online and celebrate with the rest of us. I just love that idea.
I've had this kind of idea for a long time, is because, and I think I've mentioned this before or talked about it before, is I've got the Live Aid brochure, the program, and my ticket because I was there.
Mm-hmm.
And what they missed was the opportunity to create a community around all of those 100,000 people that happened to be at Wembley Stadium and the 100,000 that were at Shea Stadium at that specific moment in time, because that's a shared memory, a collective memory. So the collective memory of Bitcoin hitting 250,000 and trying the wine and talking about the wine and talking about the event and remembering it ties people together in a way that they don't normally get tied together. And I just think it's just a lovely idea for how community can work around shared experiences. You know, if I also think I was thinking when Bitcoin hit 100,000, when I first wrote a research piece on Bitcoin back in 2013, I said, I think it's probably worth $1 million, but I'm going to discount myself by 90%, and it's worth $100,000. And it was $200 at the time. So it was the most outrageous price forecast. And I said, this is the best trade in history. And when it hit $100,000, I happened to be at one of the OG of OG, a guy called Wences Caceres, an Argentinian guy who bought it at $3, bought $2 million of it at $3. And I happened to be at his house having dinner on the day it hit 100,000, which was just like this lovely moment in time. I'll never forget it, because it was part of this whole story of my Bitcoin story. And he's been a very early kind of person in that story as well. And him being an OG, it was just fabulous.
Imagine if you had, like, look, this bottle is basically the macro thesis. It's a bottle that is the technology. But imagine we're all going to pop this bottle when Bitcoin hits 250K. And this is like the bottle of conviction. So this is I just feel like I want to be in a chat with all these people. That's part of what we're actually doing, is everybody who holds this bottle will kind of be in this little community. And I think that component is really cool. I mean, I think I'm also going to be, all my friends have bought this, so I'm hoping I'll be in a physical room with a bunch of these bottles, popping them. But yeah, I just think that the community factor is very, very cool. Like,
my macro thesis for a long time is tomorrow is going to be more digital than today.
Yeah.
And what this is showing is how luxury goods will have provenance on chain, and it also opens up other utilities that don't exist. And it's like the future of digital wine is here. And then the bringing of the AI into it as well. brings the whole journey forward, because those are the two mega trends. And it's not being done here for a gimmick. It's because when you buy a bottle of wine, particularly a grower champagne, right, you know fuck all about it, unless you're
Right.
Dave, who knows everything about everything. But or you, Jana, you're pretty good at that as well. But generally, you don't know. So you want to know about the wine, how it was made, what the harvest was, when you can drink it, all of this stuff. And the wine kind of talks to you. And that's really amazing.
Yeah. So you can actually
What
go
you're doing with the
today.
technology in the future, that technology can tell you the provenance of the wine. You can ask it, who else has got this stuff? How do I connect with them? What did it last sell for? Anything. I mean, this is amazing.
Well, and if you go to smartwine.ai, you can actually play with a demo of it. You can kind of ask the chatbot a little bit about the wine, and you can hear back. This is just about the wine in general. It's not about your specific bottle, but you can kind of see a little bit about how it'll work. In the future, though, we think that the AI not only gives you the ability to interrogate that product in natural language, which is really interesting. Like, because if I'm a sommelier at a restaurant, or a bottle shop owner, or a collector, or a consumer, or a customs agent, or an importer, I'm going to want to know different things about that bottle, right? And right now, all of that information it's abstracted in different places. It's unstructured data. So having like one portal to be able to ask whatever you want, no matter who you are of that bottle, that's great. But one of the things that you talk about all the time, Raoul, is like these agents eventually will have, they'll have the ability to autonomously do things, and they will have money. And that's kind of what we're looking at in the future of smart wine, wines being able to make their way through customs, right? To interact with the customs AI, and like there's no paperwork.
It's such a good idea, because it's so painful.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to summarize kind of what this is for anyone who still hasn't quite gotten what the smart bottle is. This is a physical bottle. So Dave wrote an article, and it's basically the bottle has a body, a soul, and a mind. And I think this really resonates with people. So you have a physical bottle of, in this case, rare grower champagne, and it's got an on-chain deed of ownership, and it's connected to an AI concierge. So this is kind of like all of these universes meeting, and it's kind of cool because what we talk about at dVIN is tokenizing wine as a real world asset, and we're seeing a lot of that. But this is now with the AI component connected to it, and it's just kind of all the things that we've been building pieces of over the last 4 years that has kind of finally come to a head. And
tell us about the champagne itself, Dave, just so people know, because the champagne itself is special, right? Even just to buy the champagne is a privilege, and everything else is actually for shits and giggles.
The champagne is super special. So it's a bottling that we bought the whole bottling. But Jana can actually tell you more about it. Jana, like the winemaker, stays with Jana when he's in Dusseldorf for Provine.
Yes, he does. No, it's a really cool, pretty rare little grower champagne. For anyone who doesn't know, grower champagne is it's different than the big champagne houses that you would know. So this is actually winemakers in Champagne who grow their own fruit and then make their own wine from that fruit, which sounds kind of obvious, but in Champagne usually it's not like that. The big houses, for example, buy in fruit from all over Champagne. And then what they'll do is they'll have a house style, and they'll try and kind of make that same style every year. With a grower, you have a lot more kind of artisanal winemaking involved. And this is a really great champagne producer that I've known for years, and he specializes in Meunier, which is a little bit different as well than kind of the classic Blanc de Blanc that everybody tends to talk about and think is like the standard. Well, Meunier is actually an incredible grape variety. It kind of comes to life a little bit earlier, depending on how you make it, depending on what style. But it has this aging ability that no one really talks about. And I went and visited him in Champagne a couple of years ago, and he opened up, I think it was like a 1972 or something, and it was 100% Meunier, which a lot of people will say doesn't age as well as Pinot Noir or Chardonnay. Totally not true. he's so specialized in that variety. Now this champagne does have a little bit of Chardonnay and Pinot Noir in it as well, but it really shows his kind of talent and yeah, the quality of the fruit in Chamoisi. So I'm a huge fan.
I mean, so how do people buy it, and then how do they get it delivered to them? Because this audience, the Real Vision audience, we're everywhere around the world. How the hell do we do this? Because we bought those mega bottles of over the line,
Yeah.
and they're all in storage in Bordeaux.
They're on their way to Bordeaux right now. They're being bottled as we speak. I talked to Jack yesterday morning, and they're bottling them this week. They're going to send them to Bordeaux, and then they'll be at Bordeaux City Bond. And this champagne is at Bordeaux City Bond as well.
And then how do we get it delivered? Because we need to be able to open it.
So, the sale ends either when we're sold out, which we think is going to happen pretty soon, or December 1st. And the reason for that is because we're all going to all these bottles are hand numbered, and they're hand numbered in order of purchase. So when you're buying the first several hundred bottles are already almost 1,000 bottles are already purchased. So those numbers are already gone. But so as you purchase, you're getting the higher and higher number. We're going to go, we're taking the whole team to Bordeaux, and we're going to go and camp out at Bordeaux City Bond and pack everything up, and everything gets shipped out globally on December 8th. So no matter where you are in the world, it's free shipping, and you'll have it before the holidays. And so we're going to get you the wine, but Raoul, it's your job to get Bitcoin to 250K by the end of the year.
I'll do my best to pump it. Now
we're going to do our part.
How much are the bottles, and how many are we restricted to? Because if you've got a nice champagne, one bottle is never enough.
I agree.
Well, so it's limited to 6 bottles, but you can buy one and up to 6. It's $150 each, which is a pretty good deal considering that these grapes, if they're not going into this wine, they're going into Krug and Veuve Clicquot and much, much more expensive champagne. And again, it's $150 a bottle. It's free shipping anywhere globally, and it comes with all of these cool perks. Jana, do you want to talk about the cool perks?
Yeah. For sure. So basically everybody...
We're quite slick at this now, aren't we? I just want to say how slick we are at these things.
Oh my God. I was
going to say,
I don't even need to be here.
We're learning.
Raoul's setting us up. We just have to knock him out of the park here. Thanks,
exactly.
Raoul. No, so there are some pretty cool kind of perks to having the bottle. So, but you've got to be ready to pop it when Bitcoin hits 250, because the first 50 people who pop the bottle, and this is something that obviously happens on chain. So first 50 people to pop the bottle will win a $2,500 value Club dVIN membership, which is pretty cool. So there are 50 of those up for grabs. And then what I'm particularly excited about, we're going to be announcing this in 1 week. We are giving away one $50,000 fine wine portfolio. So everybody who opens the bottle within the first 24 hours of Bitcoin hitting 250 get entered into a draw. And then we're going to be giving away that 50K portfolio, which is pretty sweet. And we are going to actually announce what wines belong in that portfolio next week on our wine.
Next week, yeah.
Yeah.
And people can take delivery of that and drink it, or they can keep it and sell it, and it's tokenized. So here's what's interesting about the $50,000 portfolio. We're working with a company out of the UK that, under the new MiCA rules, are tokenizing this portfolio as a financial instrument, and as such, it can be traded as a financial instrument. It can be fractionalized, or it can be used as collateral for lending. So these are the kind of this is the big macro thesis for dVIN, right? Like we're figuring out how to tokenize wine so that it can have, global liquidity, and so that it can be used as collateral for lending, whether you're a collector or an importer or a distributor. So this is like the pilot program for that. These will all be done
in Bordeaux City Bond and tokenized as financial
So
instruments.
what we're proving out here is wine as a community and a shared experience.
Yeah.
Wine is going to be digitized.
Yeah.
There is knowledge within wine that has value that can now be almost living. So the wine
Correct.
can live and have its own personality, not just in the taste of the wine, but the story of the wine itself.
Yeah.
Wine's once tokenized and open up to other things. But in addition, tokenized wine allows for wine portfolios to be traded frictionlessly or to be collateralized and used for lending, right? So what this whole thing does is prove out a lot of the things that are the future of not only wine, but a lot of the luxury goods industry in different ways.
That's exactly right. And like wine is a special case for a bunch of different reasons. A, because it's so big, and B, because it's consumable and whatever. But this model can be used across luxury collectibles, luxury products. In fact, we're working with Van Eck we're going to be they're launching a big digital assets platform, and we're running the wine part of it. That'll be launched in Q1 of next year. Super excited about it. But they're doing all kinds of different luxury collectibles.
What people don't realize is there's this grower champagne. There's a bit of a game to be had here as well, because the game is there are buybacks in wine, which is once you drink it, the supply shrinks.
Mm-hmm.
And he who drinks it latest, before it spoils, ends up making the most profit if
Correct.
the wine is ageable. So there's a whole game that gets played over supply, demand, and when the wine is at its peak versus not peak, that makes wine a very competitive sport amongst wealthy people, because there's a lot of fun to it. It's not like art, because art doesn't generally disappear. Yes, handbags and other collectibles can disappear, but wine is pre-programmed to shrink supply. Interesting, which is why it fits so well with blockchain technologies.
Yeah. And you have the forced scarcity element too that comes just with the geographical area of where you can make the best wines in the world.
How many bottles there are. Mm-hmm. So you know how many bottles, you know they're going to shrink in supply. There's a curve of when it ages, when it doesn't. So what's the right point? It's fascinating.
And there might be an interesting secondary market for these for your second bottle, right? Like maybe you'll buy two. The first one you'll open, the second you'll hold on to, and maybe there's a secondary market for those bottles because you bought early.
And maybe you want to buy one on the 10th anniversary when Bitcoin's at 2.5 million.
Exactly right.
One of those wines, right? And so what is that wine worth then? It's not $150. It's probably $1,500 because there's a cultural value to you about, I want to drink the wine that I celebrated with then. And the wine has aged and matured and become rarer because most people opened it. Kind of interesting.
Well, and we could just announce that, right? Like we could announce it the day before Bitcoin hits 250K. We could say, all right, so if you open it now, then you get a chance at a $50,000 portfolio. But if you open it at 500,000, you get a chance at a $100,000 portfolio, right? So, like we could game the whole thing. It'd be fun.
You need to buy more than one bottle, basically, just to be ready for those.
What's going through my head is like, even if there's no gamification, just the remembrance of, hey, we drank this all together, means it'll be more valuable to you in the future if you can get hold of a bottle to celebrate when Bitcoin hits 1 million. Because it's like, well, where was I when it hit 250,000? I was drinking this wine with everybody around the world. It's a human thing, right? In a world of AI, it's a very human thing. It's a shared experience, and it's valuable.
I love it.
And I also think about, like, in 10 years from now, if we're all living in this like sustainable abundance and robotics and AI have made it so that we can choose to work if we want to or whatever. Like, I want to have a cellar. My hobby is going to be wine drinking. So I need to start.
You can be drunk all day because you don't have to do a job. Why would you not?
There we go.
That's what I'm saying.
Medical science will save my liver. So in which case it's fine.
Exactly. 100%.
All right. We're not doing better than that. We're not finding a better ending than that.
Okay.
Thank you, Raoul. I really appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, and thanks for all of your work. Giving us the map to Valhalla and everything you do. Anyone who wants to check out smartwine.ai and get in on these bottles, you are only able to do it right now because it's the Real Vision exclusive window. So I can't give you the code. Raoul has to. So Raoul, if you can just like say it with us.
Yeah, because I don't know what it is.
4, 2.
You say it, Jana, and I'll pretend it's my voice.
We'll put it in. We'll make Palvitar. Like we'll go and get the Palvitar voice and make the Palvitar voice give the code.
You'll have to find it in the comments, guys. 42421. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, everybody.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Ciao.
Take care. See you guys.